My name is Dustin. I am a 35-year-old man. I was married to Kathy, who was 32 when we got divorced. I work as an engineer at a local company and make a decent amount of money every month. We have a 6-year-old son, Ron. I met my wife through a common friend who introduced us. We kept in touch and later started dating. After dating for about 3 years, we decided to get married. We had our honeymoon in Phuket, Thailand. At our honeymoon, my wife was staring at all the Asian men and asked me, "These guys are smaller than an average white man. They must be small between the legs, right?" I took that as a silly question and laughed it out. Kathy was always the one into fitness. She used to regularly visit the gym and tries to stay fit. When Kathy was pregnant, I took extra care for her. I used to cook, at times feed her in bed. I tried my best to pamper her during her pregnancy, as my mother told me that I need to keep her happy for the baby to be a bright one. Once Ron was born, I knew it was time for me to start pushing myself at work, as now I needed a ton of money. Once Ron was 5-year-old, Kathy started to go to the gym as she wanted to lose the fat she gained during her pregnancy. This is where my life took turn for the worst. In 2 months, Kathy had lost almost 20 pounds, and I was shocked at her transformation. I used to see her get better every day, but did not realize the amount of weight that she lost was that high. I asked her what is the secret for the weight loss. She explained that she was not training martial arts and that helped her lose weight. I was inspired and decided to go back to my old gym that I used to train at. I started training, and as a few months I too was getting physically better, but I was not losing weight like my wife. One day, I asked my wife if I can come train with her trainer and lose some weight. She was a bit taken aback and stated that the batch was full and they are not taking any more trainees. I was a bit shocked and brushed it off and did not put a lot of thought at it. A few days later, I was leaving for home when the front desk lady asked me to wait. She told me that some guy came looking for me. I asked if that guy left a message. She said no. I asked how did he look like. She said that it was an Asian guy with a tattoo on his neck. I brushed it off as I did not know any such guy. A day later, my wife asked me if I would like to go watch a Muay Thai match. She said that she has front row pass. I was surprised and asked how did she get front row pass to a Muay Thai event. She stated that her trainer is competing. I said yes, as it was an exciting event and I have never seen a Muay Thai match up close. So here we were at the event, and after 3 fights it was her trainer's turn. It was a 150-pound fight. The fighters stepped in the ring and I noticed that both fighters had tattoos on their neck. I laughed at the coincidence, and that someone came to my office with that tattoo was funny. So the bell rang and Kathy's trainer knocked out the opponent within 15 seconds. The fight was one-sided and the winner was celebrating. I excused for a quick pee. I came back and from a distance I saw my wife was hugging that fighter. I was angry, and at the same time I was thinking maybe it is because that the guy is her trainer. Things like that happens among team members. While going home, I asked my wife why did she hug the guy. She stated that it was her trainer and it was just a small hug, not that I'm sleeping with. She was angry and did not speak to me that night. At home, she stated that I ruined her mood and she was happy that her trainer won, but I ruined that as well. I apologized and tried to sort the situation. I woke up and did not find my wife my bed. I started to look for her and I saw her in the kitchen. She had her phone on the kitchen table and was standing naked. She was on a video call with someone. I heard her say, "This is your prize for today." I walked up to the phone, picked it up, and saw that she was making a video and had not sent to anyone. Before I could check it, she said that she was making that for me. Since we had a fight, she wanted to make it up to me. I walked up to her and turned her on the kitchen table and made sure it was one of the best she ever had. Once I was done, she collapsed on the floor and was panting hard. She said, "We should do this more often." I was foolish to believe her that night. Next morning, I woke up happy and went to the gym to train. I trained hard that day. It was cold, so I was wearing a beanie cap and had a hood over my head. Once I was done, I walked out of the gym to go home. When I reached near my car, I saw a man walk up to me. He was around 170 centimeters tall, and as he walked closer, I recognized him as Kathy's trainer. He walked up to me and said, "I love you, wife, and I make love to her every day twice and send her home with my seed in her. Now you don't touch her and leave her immediately." I was shocked and surprised. I had this weird look on my face, and by that time, two of my training partners walked in and asked what is happening. The guy then threw some names at me and said that I need to walk away from my wife or he will beat me up right there. I was still shocked and I had no clue what is this guy talking about. By then, my training friends walked up and I stopped them. I told the guy that he needs to be clear as TP what he is saying and is he sure he wants to deal with me. He then stated that Kathy is his love and he alone wants her and took off his jacket and got ready to fight. He stood in front of me, hands raised, fists clenched, and his feet moving like a seasoned fighter. For me, it was fight or flight. I took off my cap and for a moment he froze. I have cauliflower ears. That in itself is a clear message. It's time to back off. The guy then shook his head and put up his fists. You see, I am a former high school wrestler. I stand at 6'3" and weigh almost 260 pounds, and here is this guy 150 pounds and threatening me that he will beat me up. I took off my jacket and got ready. He threw a punch at my face and it cut me over my eyebrow. It started dripping blood all over my face. He then claimed, "You want more." By the time his sentence was over, I had a double leg on him and he was more than 6 feet in the air. It is a bad feeling when you are taken down from that height. When your body hits the ground, it takes away air from your lungs and you feel like you are deep underwater and there is no air. I picked him up again. This time I smashed him on his car's bonnet. The iron bin in, I picked him up again, smashed again. He was there lying like a crumbled piece of paper. My friends told me that they are witness for the incident and case. This guy files a complaint. They also made a video of the beating that the other guy took. My day was not over yet. There were more secrets to be uncovered. Some of them would be more shocking than what has happened right now. I reached home, drank a glass of water. My friend had sent a video to me by then. I searched for Kathy and asked her to sit down with me. I smiled and told her, "I have a video for you." I gave her my phone and played the video. Her face turned from a smiling one to the one of horror. She had tears raining down her face and shouted at me, "Why did you beat him up?" I asked her, "Why did you sleep with him?" She was shocked. I told her the exact same words that her affair partner told me. She started crying and said that she was just curious. I screamed, "For what?" She said that ever since she started training under AP, she was curious if Asian men are good in bed. It started with just small flirting, and one day during training she accidentally kicked AP in the groin. She apologized, and later, after the training, she went in his office to apologize. Their AP flirted with her, and he did show her where she kicked him. She stated that she does not know what happened after that and she was having sex with him. This has been going on ever since. She stated that she loves me, and I am her only love. She asked to think of this incident as she just had some casual sex with some random guy and not to think too much into it. She said that since there is no love but just less some physical attraction, it can be overlooked. I was silent and then called her mother. I told her everything, and by then, Kathy started screaming at me. Her mother started crying on the other line and I hung up. Kathy then shouted, "Why did you tell my mother?" I told her just think of it as I told her a joke. I sat down and Kathy kept screaming and I was just silent. I felt like the world was silent. Kathy was shouting, but I could not hear her. I could just see her animated and kept looking at her. In a few seconds I got to my senses and told Kathy, "Get out and talk to a lawyer and start the negotiations." She was now on her knees and stated to think of our son. "You will ruin his life if we get divorced." I smiled and told her, "It's a very valid point. I wonder if you thought about our son when you were screwing that fighter. I hope the sex was good and you keep the memories of every climax you had with your fighter, because I'll be sending a written complaint to his gym and he will be jobless." Maybe he goes back to Thailand, or better still, if he loves you, he will take you back with you. Now pack your bags and get out of my house." She kept crying, and I left the house saying that, "Don't wake my son and be gone by the time I am back." I called my mother-in-law and told her everything, and I told her that I will be divorcing her daughter. I came back to the house when I saw her go out with her mother. I went in and saw my son sleeping. I was sad, as my son now needs to deal with the trauma of a broken house. I started to cry and curled up on the floor near his bed. Next morning, I met the lawyer and explained everything and shared the video as well. He was also a bit surprised at the events and stated that he will do everything to ensure my son's custody. He asked me send a complaint to the gym where Kathy used to train. I sent a mail to the gym, and they eventually fired that AP, and he also lost the fight contracts with his promotions. The video where I am beating up this guy went viral in the underground circles. I did not speak to Kathy ever again. The court gave the custody of my child to Kathy. I was heartbroken. I had to give up my house to Kathy as alimony. I also need to pay for child support every month. Kathy's curiosity ruined my life and my bank account. I really want to leave the city and go away, but I am stuck because I want to see my son. I can't imagine my life without him around me. It is also disgusting that I have to deal with Kathy every now and then. I can't seem to understand what should I do in this case. I can't think of any new relationships as of now, as my mind is still clouded with the incidents that have happened. This is me as of now. I guess now every story here has a happy ending.